Hello everyone, and welcome back to this special edition of Bogart on Movies. Well, the Oscars are going to be given out this Sunday, and it's time once again for me to put my neck on the line and give you my picks for this year's Academy Awards. I'll also be answering your emails, and we'll look back at the most honored musical of all time, the classic West Side Story. But let's get right to good old Oscar. And first, it's Best Supporting Actress. To refresh, the nominees are Sally Hawkins for Blue Jasmine, Jennifer Lawrence for American Hustle, Julia Roberts for August Osage County, June Squibb for Nebraska, and Lupita Nyong'o for 12 Years a Slave. So this one's pretty easy for me. As much as I love Jennifer Lawrence, and as good as she was in American Hustle, she won last year. And the other three are just happy with being nominated. So the award's going to Lupita Nyong'o for her breakout performance in 12 Years a Slave.
I went to Master Shaw's plantation.
You admit it?
Yes, freely. And you know why? I got this from Mrs. Shaw. Mrs. Epps won't even grab me no soap to clean with. I stink so much I make myself gag. 500 pounds of cotton, day in, day out, more than any man here. And for that I will be clean. That's all I ask. This here, what I went to Shaw's for.
She was so believable, so heartbreaking in this, and she absolutely deserves to win. A little background. She was born in Mexico to Kenyan parents, grew up back in Kenya, and this was her acting debut. Now she's taking Hollywood by storm. Everyone wants to work with her. You'll hear a lot more from Best Supporting Actress winner Lupita Nyong'o in the future. Now let's move on to Best Supporting Actor, and once again, here are the nominees. Barkhad Abdi for Captain Phillips, Bradley Cooper for American Hustle, Michael Fassbender for 12 Years a Slave, Jonah Hill for The Wolf of Wall Street, and this year's winner, Jared Leto for Dallas Buyers Club. And again, this one's pretty easy for me. I'm so glad Jonah Hill got nominated for his terrific performance in The Wolf of Wall Street. Ditto Michael Fassbender, so scary and so good as the demented slave owner in 12 Years. And any other year he'd win. But then you've got Bradley Cooper as the FBI guy in American Hustle and Barkhad Abdi as the hijacker in Captain Phillips. But this one's going to Jared Leto all the way.
Do you like this dress? Because I think the neckline's a little plunging.
Rayon, the whole purpose of this study is to determine if ACT is helping people.
Come on, Evie, you know there ain't no helping me.
That doesn't mean I'm gonna stop trying.
Why are you so good to me? Bless your little heart.
Just promise me you'll show up for the rest of the trial.
I promise you that I will try my very best.
I want you to mean it.
Okay.
Leto's portrayal of transvestite Rayon was stunning. His transformation was so believable that it took me a little while to realize it was him. His performance was so fantastic that, as good as the other nominees were, this one's not even close. It's Leto for the win. Now on to Best Actress, and again, here are the nominees. Amy Adams for American Hustle, Sandra Bullock for Gravity, Judi Dench for Philomena, Meryl Streep again for August Osage County, and this year's winner, I think, the great Cate Blanchett for Blue Jasmine. There are a number of things going on in this category. First, I have no idea why either Sandra Bullock or Meryl Streep were nominated instead of Emma Thompson. I wasn't impressed at all with Bullock. Yeah, I get she's America's new sweetheart. She's actually very good in comedy, but in Gravity, she was just okay. As for Meryl, the brilliant Jason Robards, my former stepfather, once said to me, "It's easy to play a drunk," and that's what Meryl did. Also just okay. But Emma Thompson as P.L. Travers in Saving Mr. Banks was easily better than both of them. What was the Academy thinking? Now, Judi Dench is a wonderful actress, and she was that again as Philomena in Philomena. But this year, it's just not her year. That leaves Amy Adams. Sure, she was very good in American Hustle, wasn't she?
I could only dream about these dresses are beautiful. This. No, it's beautiful. Put it on. Come on. Come on. Look at that. Please. Perfect for you.
Really?
I felt like we had a secret, just the two of us. You know, like that thing when you just want to be with the one person the whole time and you feel like the two of you understand something that nobody else gets. I could just tell her everything about myself. And I'd never had anybody like that in my life before. I felt like finally I could truly be myself without being ashamed, without being embarrassed.
As I said, very good, and I like Amy a lot. But her problem is that Jennifer Lawrence, J-Law, even in a supporting role, was kind of the female star of the show, outshining Adams. And that doesn't bode well when it comes to award season. Anyway, Cate Blanchett as Jasmine in Blue Jasmine was just over the top brilliant. And even though Amy is becoming the flavor of the month, Kate's performance was too good for her to lose.
I want to go back to school. I want to get my degree and become, you know, something substantial. I can't just do some mindless job. I was forced to take a job selling shoes on Madison Avenue. Oh, so humiliating. Friends I'd had at dinner parties, our apartment came in and I waited on them. I mean, do you have any idea what that's like? No, 1 minute you're hosting women and the next you're measuring their shoe size and fitting them. Erica Bishop came into the store. She saw me, was so embarrassed for me. She slipped out thinking I didn't see her. I saw you, Erica! You okay?
Now, I can't say enough about Blanchett, except that she's one of the finest actresses we have. Also, check her out in the movie Elizabeth. Just stunning. And she wins Best Actress this time around. Now we move on to Best Actor. And let me tell you, this category is packed with terrific performances. Here are the nominees. Christian Bale for American Hustle, Bruce Dern for Nebraska, Leonardo DiCaprio for The Wolf of Wall Street, Chiwetel Ejiofor for 12 Years a Slave, and Matthew McConaughey for Dallas Buyers Club. So let's go through them. I love Christian Bale, and I thought he was terrific in American Hustle, but this category has too much in it for him to win this year, not due to a lack of talent. Chiwetel Ejiofor, he was very good in 12 Years a Slave, but not the best in this category. Then there's Matthew McConaughey. I just can't believe he got an Oscar nod. He's just not that good. He's the same in everything. Here he is in Dallas Buyers Club.
One, Newsom, Jeffcoat. These are patients?
Yes, sir.
They're also the names of players on the Dallas Cowboys.
No. That's a hell of a coincidence, isn't it?
Isn't this a little ridiculous?
Well, you said it.
Can you prove these are patients?
Can you prove they're not?
And here he is in Mud.
Where is she?
In town. Got here yesterday.
What are you doing out here like this, Mud?
I killed that last man she was with, Tom. He had it coming, too.
You have been dogging this girl your whole life. She's run you halfway across the country and back.
For what? For this? We stuck out here on this island like this? Begging? A murderer now? A thief?
I ain't no thief.
No, what
Tom.
would you call it then?
It's the same guy. He's okay, but come on. Now, I applaud Matthew for taking chances with the many different parts he's had this year. But the Oscars aren't about that. He's just not as good as DiCaprio, Dern, or Bale. I can't believe the Academy will give him the Oscar over them. Now, that brings us to DiCaprio and Bruce Dern. Leo was, I thought, tremendous in The Wolf of Wall Street, and I would not be surprised at all if he won.
I started my own firm out of an abandoned auto body shop. We will be targeting the wealthiest 1% of Americans.
I love three things. I love my country, I love Jesus Christ, and I love making people rich.
Hello? But I needed to mold them in my own image. With this script, I'm gonna teach each and every one of you to be the best.
This is the greatest company in the world!
I was becoming a legend.
Aren't you married?
Yeah, but married people can't have friends.
We're not gonna be friends.
I was making so much money, I didn't know what to do with it.
$26,000 for one dinner!
Dad, we're not poor anymore.
Tell them about the sides.
What are these sides? They cure cancer? The sides did cure cancer. That's the problem. They were there. That's why they were expensive. 22 million in 3 hours!
The real question is this, was all this legal? Absolutely not.
Absolutely phenomenal. How many actors could carry a movie like he can? He is a superstar and a brilliant actor. He was in almost every scene, and he was fantastic. I love Leo, but I don't think he's going to win. As good as DiCaprio was, I hope that the Oscar goes to Bruce Dern for his stunning, understated portrayal of the cantankerous old man in Nebraska.
Dad. Dad.
Leave me alone.
Come on, let me take you home.
I'm going to Lincoln. It's the last thing I do. I don't care what you people think.
Listen to me, you didn't win anything. It's a complete scam, so you gotta stop this, okay?
I'm running out of time.
You didn't even have a suitcase.
I'm not staying there.
Dad, I can't let you go.
It's none of your business.
Yes, it is. I'm your son.
Well, then why don't you take me?
You can't just drop everything and drive to Lincoln, Nebraska.
Oh, what else you got going on?
Now, you have to see the movie to appreciate how great a performance this is. This was Dern's zenith. He's an older actor, gave a terrific performance, and I think he should and he will win. But watch out for Leo. The dark horse here is Matthew McConaughey. But as you know, I'm not rooting for him. Now we move on to Best Director, and here are the nominees. You've got Alfonso Cuarón for Gravity, Steve McQueen for 12 Years a Slave, David O. Russell for American Hustle, Alexander Payne for Nebraska, and Martin Scorsese for The Wolf of Wall Street. So, David O. Russell was in the running in the beginning, but American Hustle took a back seat to some of the later films. Alexander Payne did a tremendous job in the black and white Nebraska, but it's so tough for a black and white movie to win. Mark my words, though, Payne's a great director and he will win one year, just not this year. You know how much I love Martin Scorsese, but The Wolf was so controversial that a nomination was enough for him. Plus, it was DiCaprio's movie, not Scorsese's. It's just not his year. So that leaves Cuarón and McQueen. Everybody says Cuarón is a shoo-in for Gravity, but I don't get it. So, that's basically the movie right there. Sandra Bullock grunting and in space, and more space. I thought the beauty shots and the CG graphics were great, but this was no Life of Pi. To me, it was kind of boring. A decent, though well put together movie with great special effects. But to me, not worthy of an Oscar win. My choice for Best Director, spoiler alert, is also my choice for Best Picture. How do they not go together? It's Steve McQueen for 12 Years a Slave.
You come here.
Master, I said come here! I brought her back just like you.
Come here!
Master! Master!
I got it just as instructed.
Master! You stay away from Pat's boy.
Master!
Master out.
Being able to take a subject like slavery and being able to bring all the different elements of those times together, make it all believable, to be respectful and not pandering, to let the actors act, and to bring us the story, that's the director's job. And that's why Steve McQueen should win Best Director, hands down. I'm afraid he won't, though. With the Hollywood Clooney Bullock machine in full force, I unfortunately think they'll give it to Cuarón, but I hope they don't. And now on to Best Picture, and here are the 9 nominees. American Hustle, Captain Phillips, Dallas Buyers Club, Gravity, Her, Nebraska, Philomena, 12 Years a Slave, and The Wolf of Wall Street. So let's go through the films. Even though I just told you my choice for Best Picture, which is 12 Years a Slave, hands down, not even close as to the other nominees, American Hustle was great entertainment. Funny with great acting all the way. A joy to watch. Not gonna win. Captain Phillips, better movie than I first thought. Tom Hanks was his usual everyman self. Again, not gonna win. Dallas Buyers Club, I liked the movie. Leto was terrific, but the movie's not strong enough in this competition. Not gonna do it. Gravity, Sandra Bullock grunting and preening throughout the whole movie is not my idea of an Oscar winner. I thought the movie was just so-so, and isn't there supposed to be some kind of story? Here they're in space and they want to get home. That's it. Not gonna win. Her, different, weird, quirky, disturbing. I mean the movie, not its star Joaquin Phoenix, although he's weird, quirky, and disturbing as well. Scarlett Johansson was terrific. But this one's just too out there. Glad the movie got nominated, though. I liked it, but again, not gonna do it. Nebraska. I really love this movie. Interesting, fun, wonderful acting, top to bottom, and a great directing job and script by Alexander Payne, and a musical score that didn't overpower the movie but enhanced it. Problem is, Hollywood usually doesn't vote Oscars for black and white movies unless there's a hook or there's a Harvey Weinstein. Other than The Artist and Schindler's List, which was mostly, but not all, black and white, the last black and white film to win was The Apartment in 1960. Nebraska, wonderful movie. Go see it. Not gonna win. Philomena, again, great movie. Judi Dench was terrific as usual. So was Steve Coogan, who wrote the script as well. This one's right up there with the best this year. I loved it, and in another year would have had a chance, but not this year, not gonna win. Wolf of Wall Street, I love Scorsese. I love DiCaprio. Jonah Hill was wonderful. But this movie's about sex, money, and drugs, and that's it. There wasn't any depth to the story. I was waiting for it to go somewhere, but it never did. Not Scorsese's fault, and I like the movie a lot. But there's not enough there. And again, not gonna win. And that brings us to my choice for Best Picture, Steve McQueen's emotional, disturbing story set in the pre-Civil War South about a black man living in the North who's kidnapped and sold into slavery. This year's Best Picture Oscar winner is 12 Years a Slave.
Well, boy, how you feel now?
My name is Solomon North. I'm a free man.
And you have no right whatsoever to detain me.
You're no free man. You're nothing but a Georgia runaway.
Went down to the river Jordan.
And that servant that don't obey his Lord shall be beaten with many stripes. That's scripture.
The condition of your laborers, it's all wrong.
And my property.
You say that with pride.
I say it as fact.
Speak!
Man does how he pleases with his property.
You come here. I said come here!
Days ago, I was with my family in my home. Now you tell me all is lost.
If you want to survive, do and say as little as possible.
My soul arising.
Well, I don't want to survive.
For the year when
I want to live.
So that's it. Now let's recap who I think is going to win the Oscar Sunday night. Best Supporting Actress, Lupita Nyong'o. Best Supporting Actor, Jared Leto. Best Actress, Cate Blanchett. Best Actor, Bruce Dern. Best Director, Alfonso Cuarón, even though Steve McQueen should win. And Best Picture, 12 Years a Slave. Those are my Oscar picks. Let's see what the Academy does this Sunday night. Now it's time to dip into this Oscar edition of the Bogart Mailbox. James in St. Lucie asks, your father and mother have been honored with top acting awards. When people such as they are up for an Oscar, your mother was nominated for an Oscar for Best Supporting Actress and did not win, how did she bounce back from what had to be a disappointment? You really have no choice, James. There's always one winner for Oscar, just like in sports, and you can't dwell on that disappointment. She did get an Oscar nomination, and that means her peers voted for her. And then in the end, that was consolation enough. Now, Tamara in Belglade writes, are too many movies today relying on special effects rather than a really good story and good acting? If so, is the reason they are cheaper to produce or get bigger audiences? Tamara, I think that the audience studios want to cater to for a really huge payday are the kids and the teens. They're the ones who buy the video games and the action figures and all the ancillary stuff. And they flock to those special effects-laden movies. Those are the types that movies will get those $500 million paydays that can make a studio's bottom line. That said, they're hugely expensive to make. So I don't think the movies have forgotten us. Look at this year's 9 Best Picture nominees: Philomena, Nebraska, Blue Jasmine, 12 Years a Slave. In fact, only Gravity has a ton of special effects, and all those films I mentioned were huge audience hits. Remember, you can email me at stevebogart@wxel.org and be sure to include your name and your hometown. Thanks a lot. Now it's time for my classic pick of the week. Today's choice was adapted from a multi-Tony-winning Broadway musical that was the product of a collaboration of 3 of the greatest names in musical theater. And it actually lived up to its Broadway predecessor, which most of them don't. The songs are legend, as is the music. Here's part of the opening number when the Jets meet the Sharks in 1961's 10-time Oscar winner, West Side Story.
Mira, mira, mira! Hey, Jen! Hey, hey!
Jess, come on! Hey, Jess! Hello! Jess, come on, Julio! Let's go aquí! Venga! Hey, come on! Corre, corre, corre! Cosito! Corre!
Come on, boys, huh? Hey, come on, huh?
They're not running and fighting, they're dancing. Amazing. As for the collaborators, choreography by Jerome Robbins, The King and I, Pajama Game, Peter Pan. By the way, I saw Peter Pan on stage with Mary Martin as Peter. Unbelievable. Robbins won for choreography and shared Best Director with Robert Wise. The musical score by the incomparable Leonard Bernstein. What can you say about him? For me, Leonard Bernstein represents the way I grew up, not in Hollywood, but in the New York theater. Lenny, as we called him, and his family lived one floor below us in the Dakota. I used to go to all those young people's concerts in Carnegie Hall. The whole Bernstein family was very close with me, my mom, and our whole family as I was growing up. How lucky was I to be around that. And those wonderful lyrics by 8-time Tony winner Stephen Sondheim. Then there's the cast, including Oscar winners George Chakiris and the groundbreaking, oh-so-classy Rita Moreno.
Skyscrapers bloom in America. Cadillacs zoom in America. Industry boom in America.
12 in a room in America.
Lots of new housing with more space.
Lots of doors slamming in our face.
I'll get a terrace apartment.
Better get rid of your accent.
Life can be bright in America.
If you can fight in America.
Life is alright in America.
If you're all white in America.
Here you are free and you have pride.
Long as you stay on your own side.
Rita Moreno is the only Hispanic and one of the very few performers to have won an Emmy, a Grammy, a Tony, and an Oscar. What a star and what a classy lady she is. So talented. There was also Natalie Wood as Maria. Don't you love her? Of course, she didn't do the singing. That was Marnie Nixon. Look her up. You'll be amazed at what she's done and who she sung for. Richard Beymer as Tony. He didn't do his singing either. And you'll see Russ Tamblyn, whose daughter Amber is in General Hospital and the Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants. And John Astin. He'd be Gomez in the Addams Family. And here's some neat trivia. Elvis Presley was originally offered the part of Tony but turned it down. Then Bobby Darin turned it down. Burt Reynolds and Warren Beatty were in contention, but Beymer got the part. On the ladies' side, Jill St. John, Audrey Hepburn, Valerie Harper, Rhoda, and Suzanne Plachette, remember the Bob Newhart show? All wanted to play Maria, but Wood got the part. Tremendous movie, a lot of fun, West Side Story, a breath of fresh air for everyone.